Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. Sorry if I look a little bit sweaty, it's like ridiculously hot. I have the fan going and everything, it's just way too hot. But today, we are going to be talking about a really cool topic. I'm very excited that I've really gotten involved in this movement. I mean, I'm not a huge person in it or anything, but I've been tweeting about it a lot, and that is the Banjo Redooie movement, which basically is about getting the first, well actually probably the first two Banjo Kazooie games completely remade. And this is such a big thing, I really want to heavily push it, so make sure to stick around for today's video. I'm going to tell you guys how you can get involved in this movement. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So let's actually backtrack for people who are not familiar with Banjo Kazooie. Banjo Kazooie is a 3D platformer that was released originally on the Nintendo 64 back in 1998, and it's just such a fun game because it's got very witty, dry humor, it's got great character models, it just oozes charm, and it's one of the N64's best and most iconic platformers. I even think it's better than Super Mario 64, which I know is a very controversial opinion, but I think Banjo Kazooie it looks way better, the level design is way better, the music is way better, there's just so much that is great about Banjo Kazooie. And then of course, after Banjo Kazooie, there's Banjo Tooie in 1998, which was obviously the sequel to Banjo Kazooie, and it was very different. It was a lot bigger, a lot more open, and it was definitely more of an ambitious title. It got received kind of decently well with the community. I personally do prefer Kazooie, but I do love the mini games and the almost GoldenEye style thing that they added into it. But then, in the early 2000s, when they were going to be making a game called Banjo 3, Rare, who developed Banjo Kazooie, got bought out by Microsoft, and Banjo 3 never happened. And then we all kind of know, of course, what happened after Microsoft acquired Rare. They made Banjo Kazooie nuts and bolts. Yeah, we kind of forget about that one sometimes. I mean, I think it's like an okay game, but it's not what fans wanted out of a Banjo Kazooie game. And like, I think it's 12 years later, and we haven't heard a peep out of Banjo Kazooie. The only real thing of substance is Banjo Kazooie coming to Smash last year, and that blew everyone's minds. Everyone was so hyped, so excited, and everything because of the fact that Banjo Kazooie were going to be in Smash. They even got Grant Kirkhope, who was the composer of the music in the original games, to come back and do the music for Smash Bros., and it is absolutely glorious. So anyways, with all of these different remakes and remasters coming out for 3D platformers, like SpongeBob SquarePants and Battle for Bikini Bottom, Crash Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and the rumored Mario re-releases that are going to be coming out, rumored, it really makes people wonder, why aren't Rare doing anything with their IPs, specifically Banjo Kazooie? So now there's this whole movement trying to get Banjo Kazooie, and probably Banjo Tooie as well, to be remade, and it is so epic and so cool. So I'm going to tell you quickly what you can do to really promote this movement and how to really share and take good part. And then we'll talk a little bit more about what I think I'd want them to do with a remake of Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. So how can you help contribute to this movement? Well, if you have a Twitter account, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below to a tweet that I put out, where basically it's going to be like a little campaign image saying, you know, Banjo Redooie, let's make it happen. I think it's the best way to really send that message. Just seeing that image plastered throughout a trending page would be so cool. And I think it'd be, you know, just really cool if you guys could go, like the tweet that I put out, you know, that would be amazing. Retweet it, but also retweet it with a comment and use the hashtag Banjo Redooie, and then also make sure to tag Xbox and Rare, simply because of the fact that obviously Xbox and Rare are the two main people who hold this decision. So definitely make sure to check out the link down in the description down below and do that. Or if you want, you can also save the image from my Twitter feed, and you can just post it, you know, and tag them yourselves and do the hashtags, do all that stuff, but you can make your own post if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. Anyways, what would I want them to do with the Banjo Kazooie remake? First of all, make those graphics beautiful. I mean, you see how it looks when it's brought to the Xbox Series X and all the modifications are done to it to really smooth out those textures, but at the end of the day, it's still an N64 game, just cleaned up a little bit. I would love to see it all remade from the ground up, textures and everything. It would be so cool to see Banjo Kazooie. It would feel more like an alive world, you know, having realistic textures like grass and different kinds of physics to make him look more realistic while also keeping that 90s cartoony charm that Banjo Kazooie had. Secondly, obviously this counts towards Tooie, do include those mini games. Those mini games were really fun, and what they should do is make those mini games online. So you can play that GoldenEye kind of mode online with people, or you can play the soccer one online. Like, that would just be so cool. I would absolutely love to be able to do that. It would just be so cool. And because I always play those mini games with friends, or really actually my cousins I would play it with locally. We'd sit, you know, in front of the N64, you know, it'd be split screen, particularly that GoldenEye mode. It was so much fun. And plus, it would almost bring GoldenEye to modern day consoles in a sense, because it is very much like GoldenEye. But regardless, yeah, bring that multiplayer mode back and also make it online. That would just be super cool. Next, here's probably a really big one for me. I think it would do Microsoft and Rare really well if they also made it available for the Nintendo Switch. I know, you know, Microsoft owns Rare and all that, and yes, some of Microsoft's titles have made their way over to the Switch, but I think this one is a very big candidate in terms of potential. There is so much of a fan base for Banjo Kazooie that have a Nintendo Switch, and they would still be making loads and loads of money, even though obviously they'd have to make another cut to Nintendo, but it would sell so many copies on the Switch. I mean, I think it's obvious that it would sell really well on the Switch. Like, let's be real here. And having that success on the Switch would also encourage more companies to bring some of their games to the Switch. Games that were formerly Xbox exclusive or PlayStation exclusive. Bring those experiences to the Switch as well. Because the Switch is such an interesting console, and the fact that it's really not in the competition. Like, you don't really hear people fight over Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. The Switch is kind of doing its own thing, letting Xbox and PlayStation kind of battle at each other. So bringing Banjo to the Switch could allow for more possibilities in terms of deals and partnerships with Microsoft and Nintendo, as well as possibly Sony and Nintendo. Now, I know that one's a way shot in the dark. That one's probably not likely to happen, but I thought it would be really cool to bring up, because Nintendo is where Banjo Kazooie originated. That's where it started. So to be able to have a remake of this amazing game and being able to bring it to the Switch, you know, bringing it back home to a Nintendo console for this amazing remake, even if they did make a 3 in the future that wasn't on the Switch, you know, they put it only on the Xbox, people would still be so hyped about getting Kazooie and Tooie on the Switch to maybe it would let them go and get the Xbox Series X where they would release Banjo 3, if they ever decided to do that. This one is probably going to be a little bit of a controversial one, so bear with me here. I want them to completely remaster the soundtrack. I don't mean just touching up different things, you know, kind of like they did with Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I want them to go in and actually completely change the soundtrack. Not completely change the soundtrack in terms of the music, but remake it. Have Grant Kirkhope come back in and remake all those iconic level themes. Because Banjo Kazooie's soundtrack is absolutely stellar. You cannot argue that. Everyone has a theme that they absolutely love to death. I have like a million themes in that game that I love to death. But making them more modern, making it stereo instead of mono, just so many things they could do to actually really improve that soundtrack. And again, not just remastering it, like completely redoing it. Because, you know, it's Grant Kirkhope. You know that he would want to stay true to what the original game did, but also modernizing it and making it an even more of a blast soundtrack to listen to. If Banjo Redooie did get announced, even if it wasn't called that, then I know it probably wouldn't come out for a while, because I'm sure that if this movement did get traction, Rare would start looking at that and be like, okay, maybe we should do something with Banjo, and it would be a couple of years out. But here's to the future, guys. Let's hope that Rare at least acknowledge the movement, at least see this movement. Because Banjo Kazooie is such a popular thing. It's such a popular game, popular series. You know, even the Game Boy Advance game is really good. So I really hope that Rare and Microsoft take the time to really look through not just my video, but all of Twitter, seeing all the different people that are commenting and tweeting about this with the hashtag Banjo Redooie. So, I don't know what else to say here, guys, besides thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below. And, yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.